As we can read over here, pyramids are 3D objects / shapes. So we'll be finding their volume, meaning we write V equals. So a pyramid, just like triangles, they are also half of prisms. The volume of a pyramid is 1/3 base times height. The volume of a pyramid is 1/3 base times height. Now, we know what the base of a 3D figure is always going to be. That will be the side length times the side length. However that would look. But for squares, that's side length times side length for the base. But hexagons, yes. Pyramids can include hexagons. Saying right? For hexagons, there's a different way to find the area. So always remember, find the area of the certain shape that it's targeting. Because let me tell you this. A pyramid could be an octagon at the bottom. A pyramid could be an octagon, but as long as it stretches up and creates a point, oh my gosh, this is hideous. This is seriously hideous. Oh well. As long as it stretches up and creates a point over there, then that's a pyramid. But if it doesn't, and it creates something like, if you change the perspective, it creates a view like this, where each side is coming down, that would be a prism. I don't know how to draw an octagon from that. I'm not an artist. So this is a pyramid. This is a prism, judging on the tops. The definition of a pyramid is when a 3D figure has the base of a polygon and a point at its tip. A polygon is a shape with straight sides that closes up and forms a gap inside the middle. Something like this, that is not a polygon. A polygon has to have 3 or more sides. So it can't be something like this. Can't be 2 lines. It has to have 3 or more sides. No curvy / swiggly lines. And it has to close up. See those two? They need to meet. That's what makes that a polygon. Now let's get started. Let me make a pyramid with... In fact, let me make that exact pyramid inside my diagram. Inside my model. So this is a pyramid. You can look at it at any angle you'd like to, but it forms that signature point at the top. Forms it. No flat lines, no none of that. Now let's get to the math aspect. Since it's base times height times 1/3 equals volume, we'll find our base. The base is the bottom shape, however much that may figure up to. And remember, different polygons have different formulas to get the area. But for rectangles and squares, we already know that. I would be, let's get some substitutes there. 3 and 4 equals 12. Then multiplied by the height. Let's make our height 7. 7 times 12, or 12 times 7, 14, 7, 8. That equals 84. Now 84 is our base times our height. Now we divide that. No, now we multiply that by 1/3. That would amount to 28. Meaning 28 is the volume of this pyramid right here. Pyramid and prism sound similar. Do not mix them up. Remember, pyramid always has the signature point at the top. Prisms, it's either they have a flat head or they have a polygon on their top, where they have two bases. But a pyramid always has to have one base. The base is the bottom part. For pyramids, the base is always the bottom of the shape. So let's find the area of, let me make this 2 as our width. And then for our height straight across. Remember, the height for a triangle always has to be straight, like this. Let me draw that out for you. You have to measure the height like that. If you're measuring the height of the slanted line, no, that is not it. The slanted line is always going to either be less or more than the actual height. Never going to be the real height. So don't get tricked. Now we have 2. Let's make this 8. 8 times 2 equals 16. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. Since this is a triangle, we have to divide by 2. We learned the formula of a triangle. Now we do 8 times our height. What should the height be? Let me make the height 4. 8 times 4 equals 32. 32 divided by, 32 times 3. 32 times 1/3. So basically, 1/3, anything times 1/3 is like saying anything times divide by 3. Anything times 1/2 is like saying anything divided by 2.
NT Santos, solta a putaria, porra.
Esse é o NT Santos que tá barulhando tudo.
Sei muito bem dessa mina, a peça nós já conhece. Sei muito bem dessa mina, a peça nós já conhece. Ela pode dizer certinho, pode dizer.
So you don't really need to do it this corrupt way I'm doing it. It's just that my brain, it just doesn't work with me. That's 10 2/3. Our answer is 10 2/3. Some rules about a prism. A prism will always have two bases. No matter where they're located on the shape, there will always be two bases. And remember, a base for a prism is not always on the bottom. It could be on the sides, it could be on the top, it could be forward, backward, but the base is not always on the bottom. Just remember that. Don't get tricked up. Tell me, is this a prism? Or is it a pyramid? Look at that before you pick your answer. If you said it was a prism, you'd be correct. Now, where is the base? Is the base on the bottom? Is the base these two things? These two? Or is the base these parts? If you said the base is on the bottom, you'll be wrong. If you said the base is on these two sides, well, you'd be wrong again. The base is on these two sides. The reason being is because the base is always straight. They're adjacent to each other. The bases do not curve in on each other and touch. Bases never touch. Bases are straight parallel to each other. Now, let's get into the actual formula of prisms. Base times height, or volume equals length times width times height. We've already gone over that. So that's what we know for prisms. But let me go even deeper. Oops, I erased that. Let me go even deeper. The base of a prism for 6th grade, they're going to expand. It's not always going to be squares, rectangles, any of that cute stuff. It could be any of the polygons. And for our last shape that I did not put on the board, we've got rhombuses or parallelograms. These cool guys. These guys, they're basically just a slanted square, at least in math terms. Because the formula for getting them is still length times width. So don't be scared when you see one of these guys. And also, yet again, do not measure the height of these slanted slopes. Always measure straight up and down. Straight up and down. That's how you find the area. You measure straight up and down. Let's say that's 4. And let's say side to side. That's 6. 6 times 4, 24. You don't need to do all that fancy mumbo jumbo like chopping off, making it 3 shapes, triangle, triangle, square. No need. Just do normal multiplication.
Giây phút em gặp anh là em biết em xin